So usually at this part of the episode is where I'm like, hey, how do you feel about the game? I told you downstairs, I got something I got to get off my chest, right?
Floor is yours, my boy.
All right, let me get loose. All right, so it's important to me that I get this right, so I'm watching my words, right? But Packers fans, learn to take the loss. Learn to take the loss, because for 20 years, you know, there's been some years sprinkled in there where the Bears have maybe had a better season, but for the greater part of 20 years, we've been on the other end of it. It is what it is. You know, Bears fans, it may not have felt good, but we take our losses and we don't say, oh, you know, it's because of this, make up excuses. We'll point the blame, say, hey, they're at fault, but never, oh, it wasn't justified. I've always said, hey, Green Bay has been the better team. 2025, nope, that is not the case. In 2025, you all have to hold that L. Hold the loss. You all have to eat losses for 365. Fogo de Chao, Churrusco style, turn green. All you can eat off the skewer losses all day. That's your diet, eating losses. Because a couple weeks ago, what was it? It was, oh, Jordan Love got hurt. You all barely beat a backup. Well, Jordan Love played the full game. And you all had your foot on our throats. You had the game in your hand. But y'all got y'all ass beat. That's what it was. As soon as the game was over, Bullard, what was his excuse now? Oh, you're nothing special. Nothing special happened. We beat ourselves. Well, y'all really sucked in. Because not only did we beat you, you all beat yourselves. So what now? Like, excuse after excuse is becoming pathetic. I'm starting to pity Packer fans. Like, for real, for real. So y'all have to learn to take the losses. Get better. You're already posting social media posts about you cleaning out what is that? You don't post the social media of your team cleaning out the lockers. That's just salt on the wound right there. So I had to dive into it because I'm seeing so much bitterness from the Packers fans, and I love it. I love every bit of it. Just wallow in your tears, and we will enjoy next week's game plan while y'all figure out what you got to do in draft day. CJ.
It's very rare that we get David with the flamethrower, scorched earth. Love it.
I had it. I was practicing on the way here. I'm like, man, what am I going to talk about?
Love it, bro. Love
it.
Yeah, man, for sure. Absolutely, man.
How do you feel? I know you got hot takes, man. What do you got from this last week?
You said everything that could be said and needed to be said about, you know, Packers fans and the way that they, you know, digesting that game. But it ain't. We definitely weren't feeling that way when the game started, though. I'll say that for sure. We got to find a way between this upcoming Sunday and going into next year for a way for this offense to start faster, bro. Like, it's as fun as this is, and as, you know, engaged and on the ride as we all are going to be. I think we're all smart enough to know that it's not something that's sustainable for, you know, multiple seasons. So we got to get that ironed out. But, man, I told you earlier, I said, if it wasn't for the fact that my son was watching the game with me, I probably would have cut that game off and went to bed somewhere around like that fourth and one interception when it was 21-6, because I had to work the next morning.
Yeah.
But my son's sitting there watching with me, so I couldn't set a bad example. I had to see it through. And, you know, luckily for me, the investment paid off. But probably, and it's crazy to say this because I feel like I'm getting ready to say this for like the second, like at least like the third time, but biggest win of our generation.
Easily.
You know, and it's
easily.
How many times, you know, like how rare is that you say that multiple times in one season? Like,
it keeps the stakes keep getting higher and higher, and we keep matching the occasion. Like, it's great. And I love the fact that I'm seeing. I don't mind bandwagon Bears fans. You know, I don't mind it. I mean, I'm not one. You know, I'm me and you were with it in the trenches, but I love seeing the people that are halfway fans, and all of a sudden the Bears are doing good. You start to see the city liven up. I love it, man. It's. I mean, we haven't had nothing to cheer about. I mean, every once in a while we'll get a a good team here and there. We'll get our hopes up, but this is different. It's not. We got a quarterback, got a QB1. We got a coach, a top tier coach, an elite coach, and our team fights back. There's no score that at this point any team should feel comfortable. There's no score, so that makes us. I'm not saying we're the best team in the league, but we're the most dangerous. I don't think there's any team that is just sitting there like, oh man, we got the Bears. Like at no point. So, and it's make for great games, man. It's great games. It's super enjoyable. This is the most fun in my lifetime that I've had being a Bears fan.
I think they're the one team left in the playoffs where other teams are looking at the Bears saying, if they get anything from their defense, we're going to have a problem. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, because all the other teams that's left are playing much better complementary football than the Bears are. There's teams out there that, struggle on defense. I mean, the Niners, struggle on defense just as much as the Bears. They don't have Warner. They don't have Bosa. Injuries have taken a toll on their season, and we saw that, come to fruition in a shootout with them when we played, a few weeks ago. But at least other teams are getting something. Bears don't get nothing other than the turnovers. When they're not getting turnovers, there's nothing to write home about that defense. Absolutely nothing. So I think other teams are looking at it like, hey, we got to go out there, we got to score points, because if their defense finds a way, to rise up and show up for just a little bit of the game, like we got problems on our hands. So I'm super excited to see what happens on Sunday. I'm glad it's on Sunday. I'm glad it's against the opponent that it is. I'm glad it is going to be single digits, playing against, a quarterback that's played over half of his career either inside or in warm weather. He does not like playing in the cold. I'm not going to say he doesn't like playing in the cold, but history has shown and the stats will tell you that he doesn't play well in the cold.
I think they said 1-7 career or 1-8 career.
Yeah, and he's got a bad finger. We'll see how easy it is for him to grip a ball in single digits with a sprained finger. So there's a lot that, can be taken advantage of, but I'm not looking forward to what Puka can do to that secondary. Yeah. I can see him going off for 200+ yards against, Jalen Johnson and Deshaun Wright, because of course my boy Tyreek don't see the field. So
we text about it, man. As soon as he saw the field, our secondary started playing so much better. I mean, yeah, we had. I mean, tackling is still an issue. I mean, that golden touchdown was ridiculous, but
yeah,
there's
got to be something, and I'm sure it'll trickle out. I'm surprised none of the local beat reporters, from what I've heard or seen, aren't really asking him what's going on with the rotation back there. I haven't really heard anybody asking, excuse me, why Tyreek isn't really seeing the field, but that's small potatoes at this point. We got bigger things to worry about,
Yep.
But we'll see, man. It's gonna be interesting on Sunday.
What was other than just the comeback, the obvious, what was the biggest takeaway from this weekend against the Packers for you?
Ben Johnson standing on business.
Hey,
after the game, I love everything about it. And this is coming from somebody who traditionally I've been very reserved and very not as outspoken when it comes to the Bears-Packers rivalry, because for the most of my life, it hasn't really been a rivalry. It's been, the Bears getting their ass kicked for the better part of, my life.
Yeah.
So I never really understood the whole Green Bay sucks chants when the Bears aren't playing the Packers, and they'll be in the tunnels screaming Green Bay sucks. It's like, dude, Green Bay been shoving you know what in the dirt for the better part of 2 or 3 decades. How do they suck? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I never really participated in it, but he's actively bringing the inner meathead out of me, bro. Pause. That was crazy. But
I
he's
know what you
like,
mean, man. We know what
yeah,
you mean.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's cool. And, he says it, and he could have very easily the next day on Monday walked it back. Like, he could have easily been like, hey, you know what? It's in the locker room, got caught up in a moment. You know, I have more respect for those guys than, what I showed in the moment in the heat of battle. Nope. Double down on it the next day. I'm like, yes.
And you know what? To his credit, this is not the first time he's doubled down on something. When he had the incident with the reporter, right? He was very selective with his words, but he never said he wishes he didn't say it. He said I just thought I heard her say something like I felt justified in what I said. So he doubled down in that instance too, and then with this, it's like, man, and he's smart, man. Like, so I mean, we've coached before, so I mean, not on that level, of course, but coaching involves so much more than X's and O's. So, I mean, at least from an outsider's perspective from us, it seems like he's instilling that in his players, and if he doesn't believe that, the players aren't gonna. Like, Eberflus used to hang out with LaFleur. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. Never should that happen. I mean, I get it. You don't really have to legitimately hate the person, but you're not rubbing shoulders with the person or rubbing elbows with the person that you're supposed to have one of the most historic rivalries with. But Ben Johnson having that mentality is carried over to the team. And I think that's part of the reason why we won is because, man, we can't lose to these guys, man. We can't lose to them. And that's what makes it exciting to watch. It's like there's never give up. It's just the Bears, man. It's what is it, 24 points in the fourth quarter? It's insane. And I can't stress enough how happy I am. Not only that we won, but how well Caleb closed out that game. I said last week, I was like, this is Caleb's moment to shine and prove all the naysayers wrong. It's his moment. He has to. And with the exception of, I think, Matt Stafford, he has the most points ever by a debut quarterback in the playoffs, ever. 360-something yards. He had 2 bad takeaways. But I don't know if a lot of people took it the wrong way. I didn't see a lot of pushback, but seeing him on the sideline, turned up, kind of yelling. I didn't take it as him yelling at his team. I took it as him being frustrated, and it seemed like he was like, man, I need y'all to be just as upset about the way we're playing as I am. You know, that's how I took it. It's like, man, let's go. We're better than this, and we're playing like crap. And he turned up, and I'm like, man, that's it. That's what we need. Like, we keep saying, that's the Leo thing. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it, man. That's what we need from him. And what I love, the irony of all the Caleb haters, but Packers fans, they want to put up the emoji, the fingernails or whatever. The bad part about gunning somebody like that, when you lose to somebody like that, now you have to double and you have to sit on that too. So now, not only are you losing to the Bears, but you're losing to a man with a manicure during a football game. So how does that feel, Packers fans? You always want to put the little emoji up. Now that's one of the biggest used emojis on social media. I love it, man.
Hey, and another thing, like, for someone to come back from a 21-3 deficit at halftime, 21-6, entering the fourth quarter, lead his team back to a come from behind win, and still was only a 50% passer.
Yeah.
So for everybody who, wants to, stat hump, certain stuff, and it's like, hey, at the end of the day, is he getting the job done or he isn't? I would much rather have a quarterback who, he may miss a 5-yard throw here, may miss an 8-yard throw here, but he's hitting the 15 and 20-yard, throws. He's hitting the chunk plays, hitting the ones that matter, and then daggers, the ones that, really hurt the defense. So, would it be cool to see somebody, pick apart, 70% passer? Yeah, traditionally, sure. But I'll take 50% passer if this is what it's going to look like when it comes to, crunch time and leading a team down when it matters, to points. So it's just, that's kind of one of the more ironic things too, is for people who keep complaining about completion percentage. And it's like, hey man, is he getting the job done or isn't he?
How many of the 7 games that we came back from do we win if Caleb Williams is not our quarterback?
None.
Zero. So, I mean, I'm agreeing with you, man. Like, he's exact. I keep saying this. He's the quarterback that we needed. I guess we didn't know what that looked like because we haven't had that quarterback, but he's exactly what we needed. He still has. It's only year 2. It's only his second year in the league.
There were points in this season right now that we're in right now, where the Bears are getting ready to play a divisional round playoff game. There were points in this season earlier on where people in this town actively wanted to see Tyson Bagent over Caleb Williams.
Insane, man.
Let's think about that for a minute, bro. People in this town wanted to see Tyson Bagent under center instead of Caleb Williams.
And it's no shade to Bagent, but it's just he's not Caleb. He's not. I'm so happy that we have him as a backup. I think he's a great backup to have, but that is exactly what he is for us. Will he go somewhere else maybe one day and succeed? He could. But how many of those 7 games do we win if he's the quarterback? You know? I know we got to move on to another topic. I love talking about this, by the way. If you can't tell, man, I love talking about this. 4th and 8.
Go
ahead.
Before I forget, because you had brought up the when we were talking about Ben Johnson and the locker room, F the Packers, that there's 2 different scenarios that happened on Sunday in 2 different games, 2 different post games that are a clear example of you can't please people in the world, bro. You got people who want to say that Ben Johnson is classless for showing emotion, for stoking the fires of a rivalry. People didn't like that. That's classless. That's, over the top. But then on the other side, you got people who wanted to rage against the reporter down in Jacksonville for bigging up Liam Cohen and, giving him some praise on the way out after they lose a game. What makes people happy, bro?
Nothing.
Like, you mad because, you got the super meathead side over here. You got Ben Johnson, F the Packers, this, and that. But then you got a reporter down here in Jacksonville, putting praise, giving praise to Liam Cohen for a great season. And that wasn't professional. What do people want, bro? I don't understand. Like, you can't make people happy, man.
No.
So you might as well just go out there and be you. That's the moral of the story, from what I was able to draw from Sunday is just be you, man, because you can't please people,
bro. Which makes me happy that Ben Johnson is our head coach, because him doubling down on what he said, and then he even was like, "Hey, I talked to George McCaskey about it. He's cool with it, pretty much, paraphrase, but he's like, hey, he's cool with it. That's my boss. That's the only one I really cared. Like, if he had something to say about it, that would be the only person that would kind of make him like, all right, he's cool with it, man. But you saw McCaskey pushing the Packers fan away, trying to get a selfie. Like, nah, man. And it wasn't a gentle love tab. He gave him a full stiff arm. Like, nah,
Derrick
bro.
Henry stiff arm.
Yeah, like, get up out of here. I love it, man. I love it. And if I haven't said it enough, Packers fan, you have to sit on this loss. If there's one thing you're gonna get from this podcast, it's that if you're a fan, you have to just learn how to lose, at least in 2025.
For sure.
Yep.
We learned how to do it for years, bro.
Yeah, so. You got to. And I love the fact that they're just whiny little babies about it. There's so many people I've seen online that are Packers fans that I haven't even seen really post since they lost, just like being little babies about it. Own up to it. But
there's a few that I've seen that I've actually tipped my hat to, and I got some respect for them. In the aftermath of the game, and while everybody's crying about Ben in the locker room, like it's something that some Packers fans have been like, I respect it, man. Hey, F y'all too. We feel the same way. I expect nothing else than y'all not to like us, And I've seen some of that. It's hasn't been to the same extent as the the whining and all of that, but I've seen trickles of that, and tip my hat to y'all, man. I respect it.
Yeah, you still got to learn how to accept that loss, but yeah, for good stuff. But I'm sorry, man. I'm all giddy. I told you I'm still all happy from this weekend, man. Before we move on, I had started asking you about it, man, but I was describing to Brittany, my wife. She was watching the game with us, and I was talking to her, and I was telling her and explaining to her the 4th and 8 situation where Caleb converted on the run. Like, yes, like if from a, I'm not going to say casual fan, but it looks, at first glance, it's like, okay, man, it's a throw. It seems pretty cool, but I'm like, the importance of everything involved in that play and everything that happened has to be Mount Rushmore biggest plays I've seen in Chicago football. Has to be. Anybody that's really, really familiar with the game, you're sprinting away from your he's towards his throwing arm, away from his throwing arm. So while being chased by a defensive end, on the run, jumping. So if you're a quarterback, you have to set your feet and you have to push off and use your hips to throw. Caleb had none of that. He threw all arm on the run 4th and 8. If we don't convert that play, the game is over. I don't care how well we played before that. That game was done. There's nothing we could have done. For him to convert on the run, dropping it in between defenders while avoiding him, the sack, jumping and doing the Jordan logo while doing it is insane. Insane. So much so that you got Packers receivers on the sideline going, bro, what? What? That happened? Yes, that happened. And that play was insane. It's one of the best plays I've seen in Chicago Bears history.
It's easily Mount Rushmore. It's easily top 3. And I would say it's probably 1 in our lifetime. I know that's might be a little bit, recency bias, but the only other plays that I was thinking about it while you were talking, the only other plays I could think of that would even rival
Hester.
That play is Hester taking the opening kick of the Super Bowl
yep.
for a touchdown. That popped in my head immediately. And honestly, the only other play that I could think of that you can even put in the conversation would probably be Week 1, 2018, Khalil Mack, the strip sack. Well, was it strip?
Strip six?
No, it was the pick six.
Yeah, he sacked him and went in the air. He caught it and
took it for a touchdown.
He'd only practiced for like a week at that time.
Yeah, and it's because it was Week 1. He had just got traded there like less than 3 weeks ago. Hadn't really practiced. Shows up and is like a one-man wrecking crew in that first half against the Packers. I can't think in my lifetime. I can't think of any other plays that would even rival when you think of just the importance, what's on the line in the moment. I would say is easily either 1 or like 1A, 1B with Hester in the Super Bowl, because obviously that Super Bowl supersedes everything. But I mean, it's up there, bro.
And the thing is, like, it's no shade to it because it was one of the most exciting moments ever in my life, seeing Hester return opening kickoff. Insane, because I imagine most people thought this. I imagine most people were like, man, what if he returns the opening kickoff? Because he just did it so much. It's like, man, what if he did that? And he did it. But ultimately, we didn't win that game. The fact that we won this game, what it meant to that game, like there's other things like, the Fridge scoring in the Super Bowl. It was a blowout, but I mean, it's an iconic shot. You see it all the time with the Fridge scoring. At that time, 300-pound players were far and few. Now you have to be that to be on the offensive line. But I could think like Nate Vasher returning the missed field goal or whatever in the orange unis. I mean, we have some, but nothing to this degree. And before we move on, it's just I'm not conceding defeat, but I don't even care what happens from here on out. I mean, I care, but for me, at first, it was like, okay, we're making the playoffs and won NFC North. Chalk it up for a win this year because we did better than expected. But then we had to play the Packers. I'm like, all right, we can't go out like this.
You didn't want the run to end to that team.
Couldn't.
That's what it was.
It would have been back-to-back, losing to the Lions, then losing to the Packers, and then we have to hear about it all offseason, like, oh, man, you lost to the Lions and the Packers. You won the NFC North, but you guys were the worst team in the NFC North. I heard that a lot, too. So we're the worst team in the NFC North or whatever. Like, oh, what y'all got to say now? It's us versus the NFC West, and there's nobody left in the NFC. It's us versus 3 other NFC West teams.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're the worst in NFC North, then where are all you other vagabonds at? Nowhere.
All right, let's, man. Cancun, baby.
Yeah.
Roulette 101.